Okay, yesterday when we left off, the boys, so Henry, Robert, and Scooter, were over at Beezus and Ramona's house, and Mary Jane was there. And they were all kind of in a tussle. They were arguing and quarreling and fighting about all sorts of things. And Henry heard someone call his name. And then he called Dizzy. And Ribsy, the dog, went running to this big boy. And Henry was really confused because Ribsy seemed to know this boy, and this boy seemed to know Ribsy. So if you remember at the very, very beginning of our story, which was a long time ago, at the very beginning, we found Henry. He was walking around the downtown area of their neighborhood, and he found a stray dog, named him Ribsy, and brought him home. So let's see what happens next. His name isn't Dizzy, he said to the boy. It's Ribsy, and he's my dog. Ribsy looked at the boy and wagged his tail again. A terrible thought came to Henry. Ribsy must have belonged to the boy before he found him in the drugstore over a year ago. The boy had seen his picture in the paper and had come to take him away. If only Ribsy hadn't won the prize in the dog show and had his picture in the paper, then the boy would never have found him. Henry didn't know what to do. He couldn't give up Ribsy after a whole year. He couldn't. He moved closer to Ribsy and put his hand on the collar. He's my dog, he said. He's my dog, and you can't take him away. He was a skinny old dog when I found him, and I bought him a collar and a license and a dish, and now I buy him 2 pounds of horse meat every week, and Wolfie's dog food besides, and I wash him, and I brush him and everything, Henry gulped. You can't take him away. Henry does take awfully good care of him, added Beezus loyally. Henry found him. So he must have run away from you, said Robert. Finders keepers, losers weepers, chanted Mary Jane. Well, I had him longer than you have, said the boy, and I fed him and brushed him too. I had him when he was a puppy. He used to chase his tail so much, I named him Dizzy. And the only reason he ran away was because he was heartbroken. I went to scout camp for the summer, and Mom and Dad went east, and we left Dizzy with my aunt and uncle. They said he was so lonesome and homesick that he wouldn't eat or play or anything. Then one day they couldn't find him anywhere. They thought maybe he'd gone home to look for me, so they drove over to our house to look for him. He wasn't there, and they looked every place. They advertised in the paper and everything. So he did run away, said Robert. You left him, and he ran away. Ribsy licked the boy's hand again. Look, he remembers me and wants to come home with me. But he likes me too, protested Henry. Ribsy looked at Henry and wagged his tail. For the first time, Scooter spoke. We like Ribsy right here in this neighborhood. He's just about the most popular dog around here, and every one of us would miss him. Henry stared at Scooter in amazement. It was the first time he had heard him say anything good about Ribsy. Yeah, we all like him, agreed Robert. All the kids at Glenwood School like him. He waits for Henry every day under the fir tree, and all the kids know him. Yes, what about us, Beezus? Henry has taken care of him for a whole year, and I don't think it's fair for you to take him away. He didn't have a collar or a license tag when I found him, said Henry. Well, he had them when I went off to scout camp. I don't know how he lost them, except my aunt said he was awfully thin when he disappeared. Maybe he slipped his collar off over his head or somebody took it. The boy reached in his pocket. I have my birthday money that you can take. He held out a $5 bill to Henry. $5? I wouldn't sell Ribsy for $1,000,000. Oh, I didn't mean for you to sell him, said the boy hastily. I meant the money to help pay his expenses for the last year. I know it isn't enough, but it's all I had. Henry felt sorry for the boy. He could understand why he would want to keep a smart dog like Ribsy. But Henry couldn't part with his dog. Nothing exciting had ever happened to him before, and look at all the things that had happened this year. Henry knelt and put his arm around his dog's neck. You wouldn't want to leave me, would you, Ribsy? You wouldn't want to leave Klickitat Street, would you? Ribsy licked Henry's face. The stranger knelt and snapped his fingers. Dizzy, you want to come home with me, don't you? Ribsy looked at him, wagged his tail, and said, Woof! I guess he likes both of us, sighed Henry. But I don't care. He ran away from you, and I found him. So we'll have to see tomorrow what happens if Henry keeps the dog or if the dog goes with the boy. We have to find out if he's really going to be Dizzy or Ribsy. We'll see you tomorrow.